The year was 2000 and the month was February, or Y2K of February, and this was just months before the infamous Windows ME came out. The wreck of an OS that was Windows ME came out. Microsoft released the well-received Windows 2000, also known as Windows NT 5.0. This operating system was the last to show the Windows NT designation in its name. It was later succeeded with the much more momentous occasion that was Windows XP, the OS that is really where I really have my true roots in computing. There were 4 versions that came out of this OS. It was Professional, Server, Advanced Server, and Advanced Server Data Center Edition. However, there were 2 limited edition versions that came out in the data center side of things, which was Advanced Server 2000 Limited Edition, as well as Advanced Server Data Center Edition 2000 Limited Edition. Long names, I know. The latter 2 added 64-bit support with Intel's Itanium microprocessor. Here are some highlights of this operating system. For starters, we had personalized menus, expanded special folders, taskbar balloon notifications, a feature that you would future to see a lot in Windows XP, and probably my favorite, which is the ability to hold down the shift key while your start menu is open and launch as many programs as you want without it closing. On top of that, this OS was the first also to introduce NTFS 3.0, which, as you already know what I'm going to say, that'll be another video. It was also the first to add Active Desktop by default, which was actually a feature added later in Windows 98. 2 new accessibility features were added in this release. We had the on-screen keyboard, and we also had the Windows narrator. And on the graphics front, it came with DirectX 7, and it ended its life with DirectX 9C. And probably the most important for all you IT admins out there, this was the first release of Windows to add in Active Directory support, which obviously, as you know as admins, it allowed admins to be able to deploy, manage, and set policies on various computers on their domains. And as sad as it was to say, Windows 2000 ended support on July 13, 2010, with updates finally going away for it in 2011. However, with that, let's jump into the OS itself and see how it looked. Alrighty, so here we are in Windows 2000. You guys saw the introduction where I just kind of showed myself running through installing it on this Hyper-V virtual machine. It took forever, but it works. And so with all that history aside and all the setup aside, this is Windows 2000. One thing you might notice, especially if you weren't born during these times and you were really born like in the XP era and maybe beyond that, more recently, is that this looks pretty much exactly the same as Windows 95. It looks the same as Windows 98. In fact, it looks the same as what came after it, Windows ME as well, and it obviously is its own. It has that tombstone feel to it, where it just kind of feels like everything is gray and kind of bland. It's just how it was during those days where we had those things. Another thing that it really didn't have too much of, at least I can't get this to work on this computer's virtual machine, is the internet. It did have the internet, but when you go into it, by default, everyone around these times had a 56K modem. We were just getting into DSL, so you can go through LANs and things like that. I cannot get that to work here, but you see here my telephone line is connected to my modem. My telephone line is connected to my modem to sign up for a new internet account and so on. I can't do the internet setup at all because, again, I'm not sure how. I think I've seen tutorials online about how to do this whole thing, but it is way too long and that is a lot of energy for me to go through to do that. So let's just kind of go in and see what's in there. So we have my documents. If you go into that, you have your file explorer and all that stuff here. It's really laggy for me. I'm not sure why, but just bear with me. So you have my documents, you got the pictures. Do they have any sample pictures in here? They do have a sample picture, so we can click on this sample picture. I think Windows 2000 also introduced like previews, like much better previews for just images and stuff. So I double click the image. Let's see, will it open? There we go. It's opening up an Internet Explorer for some reason, but there we go. We got the preview image of this. It's very slow for some reason, but again, I'll try to fast forward through stuff that is just really cringy to watch. Let it load in. There we go. It's doing it. By the way, I allowed this machine, if you didn't watch the intro, to have 1 GB of RAM, and it only has 2 GB of storage. So when I click on the start menu, it is kind of slow. I could add more storage to it. Let's say if I want to do, I don't know, documents, and go to my documents again, have that open up again. And then let's say I want to do this drop down menu here, and I want to go to, I don't know, my computer, and just wait for it. There we go. So we have the floppy A, 3.5 floppy A, for those of you who are around floppy disks, compact disc, which is your CD, and then you have your control panel there, and then you have your C drive. So you can see here, my C drive, actually I lied, I put 20 gigs for it instead of the 2 gigs. So my C drive has already used up 2 GB of memory, of storage already, and it's still quite slow. Clicking into it, you still have the usual stuff, documents and settings, and then you go through and you can see all that stuff, all users, Windows NT, and then home is the name of this user account, is home. So if I hit, let's say program files, let's see what's in the program files. It doesn't look like there's actually anything in the program files. There are 9 objects hidden. So what I can do is, let me see if I can actually unhide whatever's hidden. So we can go to folder options, and let's go to view, and then show hidden folders. That's gonna probably restore the system32 folder and the Windows folder itself. So let's see if we can get that to appear. All right, I gotta close out some of the stuff. The computer is gonna slow down quite a bit. All right, let's see if I can get any of these things to appear, and hit refresh, and maybe anything want to pop up at all. So I'm not seeing any kind of hidden files showing up. Okay, now I'm starting to see some hidden files. Let's see Windows NT folder, see what's in there. So far it says show the contents of this folder, so I can hit show, and then there we go. Now we have the hidden contents in here. This is your system32. This is that Windows folder that you would see typically in the modern OSs and things like that. And you got that in here, which is pretty nice. Going back and kind of going through, you see the storage disk, how much is there. Not really much there. Program files is there too. You can hit show hidden files as well here, and then you get more. You get Windows NT as well here. Another thing, Microsoft front page, that's a whole nother that'll be a whole nother video talking about front page, and so on. There's a lot here, so let's exit out. Also, if you notice too, a lot of the little things that required like Explorer just had like the Microsoft Windows logo in the corner there, the old one, and they all had it there. This is Internet Explorer. Let's see what version is running. I don't believe it even is 6, but I could be wrong. This is Internet Explorer 5. So this OS actually did support Internet Explorer 6. I just don't have Internet Explorer 6 installed on here. So that's what that is. It is, obviously it says based on NCSA Mosaic. So there you go. If you know what that is, I actually do not know what that is. Someone's probably going to tell me. You can choose to what shows up on the Explorer bar. So you can choose to put search on the Explorer bar. So let's see what happens if I enable search on the Explorer bar. Okay, so work offline, yes. Okay, so this is how search was. It's not going to be something embedded on your address bar up here. That's how search was. So then click out, let it load once again. It's kind of cringy waiting for this thing to load, but I gotta say it does work pretty well. This is also running Hyper-V on an AMD machine, my 5800X, so it's not an Intel machine. I believe my performance was better on my Intel machine as far as I can tell. All right, let's exit out of Internet Explorer and now go to my favorite part here. And we'll go over to accessories, and this is some of the programs that I talked about in the history portion. You got Microsoft Paint, you got WordPad still there. Windows Explorer is your file explorer essentially. I don't believe I can pin it. Can I pin it? Send to, no, you can, I don't think I can pin it at all. No, wait, I think I can. Yes, yep. All right, good, it's pinned. All right, because that was gonna bother me if I didn't have it pinned down there. All right, so now let's go to accessories. Now let's go up all the way up to the entertainment area. You got your CD player, your sound recorder, volume control, which there's no volume in this virtual machine. And then you got Windows Media Player. So going to games, this is my favorite part here. They got the infamous pinball game, the 3D pinball game, Space Cadet pinball game that was available in Windows XP. I remember playing hours of this game, 3D pinball Space Cadet. They brought this thing out when I played this when I was a kid in Windows XP. Obviously it looked a lot better, had a lot better colors on it. I could just be doing something wrong with this virtual machine, but the colors here aren't very good. It's like 16-bit-ish. So let's click it. I believe it is Z and the slash. Yep, Z and slash, and then space to hold down. Let's see if I can get some points. All right, it says hit mission to select targets. And then I don't know what shake the machine button is, but there we go. I loved playing this game when I was younger. I pressed the wrong button. I loved playing this game when I was younger. So there we go. I don't want to waste too much time playing it, but it is actually really interesting. And now my phone is going off. So yeah, this was the game that, other than Age of Empires 1, this is the game that I spent a lot of time on as a kid. It doesn't look like it right now, but this is the nostalgia. All right, I'm gonna exit out of it. Of course, you had Minesweeper, you had Outlook Express right here. So this was Outlook Express. I can't actually do anything with it because I'm not online again. So everything wants you to set up the internet account. And you had network spaces as well, which is kind of where you see what's on your local area network. You can see your entire network, computers near you, and all this stuff. I'm not online, so I can't actually check anything like that. But overall, that was pretty much it. Also, this button, if you're trying to figure out what this was showing the desktop. So if you were in a program, right, let's say you opened up documents, right, and then you opened up Internet Explorer, right, if you wanted to show your desktop, you'd have to press this and it would go back to the desktop. In later Windows versions, you would go to the right side of the screen. The bottom right side of the screen is literally what Microsoft calls it, and that would take you to the desktop. Right clicking to the taskbar anywhere, something we miss in Windows 11 Microsoft, allowed you to open up the task manager as well. So this is where you could see all the processes that are running on your PC. It was very straightforward, very simple. I'm not sure why the internet popped up. We can see our CPU usage. It's using up a lot of CPU. Remember, there's only a gig of RAM on this thing, and it's not using a lot of it right now. It still has plenty of available RAM on there. CPU usage is pretty high. Let's check the processes. You can see how much memory and everything is being used. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. This even allows you to just simply run new tasks and things like that. One final thing to close out though, since this video doesn't get too long, let me close out of this again, is the infamous shortcut to open up the run menu, right? Windows key and R still works here. So Windows key R, and then you can open up the run menu. And then if you want to open up command line, you can hit command, type in CMD, and boom. Of course, I'm going to verify to you that the internet does not work. So I'm going to type in ping and then 8.8.8, boom, and you can see the destination is not being able to be reached. So can't ping anything because there's no internet, there's no sound, there's not really any drivers there. But yeah, it was a doozy. It was a doozy of a thing. I know I said that this is the last thing, but I just want to show you that it is in fact the same layout, everything as Windows 98 and 95. The same thing in the display properties was there. Screensaver, appearance, web. You can make your web as an active desktop, so that way you could have like google.com be the background image of your thing. This is how viruses and stuff flourished through these times, but we got used to it. And then you got the colors. There's only 16-bit because I don't have drivers installed right now. But yeah, so that's about it. That was Windows 2000 in 2022. Last time I did this was 2021, 6 months ago, doing Windows 98. So now maybe the next challenge will be trying to get Windows ME to come in, or just skipping straight forward and going to Windows Vista, who knows, and why that might have been trash back in the day. Windows Vista is a lot easier to install, luckily, than this. So bear with me. We'll see when this next one comes, but stay tuned for more. My name is Kweku, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.